Hi everyone, welcome. I'm Lisa from Down to Earth Gardening and Design, and today we are going to be installing our own irrigation system. So currently I'm down here in Florida. We have a small yard. I've been adding quite a few plants. Maybe you've seen some of the videos where I've been adding some containers and some gardens. And I've been getting out the hose every day or my watering can. And I think it's really important down here to have our own irrigation system. So I thought it would be interesting and fun to walk you through how we're going to do that down here. This is the same system that we have in Connecticut. Most of my gardening I do up north in Connecticut. I have the business there, and I love my irrigation system up there. I can manage it remotely, which is really important. It's great for consistent watering for my plants when I get busy or when we're away. So I'm going to put up some affiliate links just in case you're interested in what we're using today. So I'm going to walk you through the parts. So we just unpackaged everything, and I just wanted to walk you through that quickly before we get started, and then we're actually going to do the install. So we purchased this system right here, and it's for 8 watering zones, but you can purchase your system for 4, 6, 8, or 14 zones. So before you purchase, just figure out how many different areas you will want to be watering. So it's not only by area, but you may have some different gardens or some containers that require a different amount of watering. So they will need their own zones, so that's also important. So love this because you can control it remotely. And there is also a weather app. So that's going to help you conserve water because when it rains, it won't be watering or it'll be watering less. So that's really fantastic. So irrigation system is not just important to our plants for consistent water and to us to help us manage our garden tasks, but also for water conservation. So that's really important. So this here is the valve, and remember I said we have 8 zones, so you could have 8 valves, and that's what we will be needing. This is just one to show you what it looks like. And then here we have the actual hose, which will carry the water from its source to the plants. And the trick here for me as a garden designer is hiding the hose. So we're also probably going to need some staples here to hide this in the gardens. And then we have a little tool to use to connect this here. This is actually the tubing that is going to go from the hose directly to the plants, so in the ground or in the containers. We have some connectors here, and then we're also going to experiment. We have some pop-ups, just a couple of those, and then we have some bubblers and some drips. So these are actually the heads that will go on this little hose right here and be bringing the water directly to the plants. Okay, so that's our material, so stay tuned, and we're going to show you how we're going to set this system up. Okay, so we have some progress on our self-installed irrigation system. So before you install it, you really need to think about your water source and your electrical source because you're going to need both of those for this system. So we do have an outdoor faucet here. And so this is where we connected the hose, but your faucet will always have to be on. So it's a good idea to use a little Y connector so that way you can free up this one here. So if we wanted to put another hose on it, fill watering cans, water manually, or we just needed another water source, we have an option because this will always be hooked up here. And then you can see some electrical wires. And we'll show you the little mess that we have on the inside of the lanai here where the controller is going to live. So note on that, you do have the option. You can buy an outdoor controller that you could keep outside so it's weatherproof. Or for a little less money, if you have a spot inside, that's fine too, but it's got to be inside. So mine is in the lanai and it was a little bit cheaper, so we went that route. So you need an indoor outlet that's close by. Right now we have it rigged a little bit. You can see the outlet. I have a quick clip, and then you can see some extension cords. Once we get it up and running, we're gonna mount it somewhere and it's gonna look a lot tidier. So stay tuned. But then you wanna go ahead and connect your valve. So remember, this is gonna run one zone here. We're gonna start with one zone. And then we have our hoses laid out. Now, we don't have any of our drips going to the plants yet. So right now we want to just lay everything out, leave it on top. Then we're going to hook up our drips going to each individual plant. So right now we're running a test. I have a little clip for you on how to manually run the test. We have it going for 10 minutes. We want to go to the end of the hose and see if it's coming out and how quickly it's coming out. Okay, so this is the end of the hose. Currently, we're doing a test with the pop-up sprayer. So we already did a test with one of the little drips, and we have two different kinds here. And so we ran it for a little bit and filled the bucket. I think it was for 15 minutes that we ran it for, and it filled up this little bucket here. So when you run your irrigation system and you do your testing, you don't want to underwater or overwater your plants. So it's really good to kind of do a watch and wait, start off slow, and then figure out your timing. Because remember, your time that you're going to water really depends on a few things. It's the type of plants, it's the climate, it's the season, it's the type of soil. I'm here right now in Florida. It gets hot, it's dry, there's sandy soil, and I also have new plants, so they're going to need a little more water. So again, this is going to be the pop-up mister. So this is the button emitter. So a little more of like a drip versus a spray. And then right here, some little adjustable spray jets that we haven't tested yet. Okay, so the button emitter is what we tested and came out in about 15 minutes in this little beach pail here. So that was our test on the button emitter. Now, a note on that is the emitters that we purchased are a half a gallon per hour, but you can also buy them in a gallon an hour or 2 gallons an hour. So we're using the little button emitters here on some of our plants, and we'll walk you through that. And remember, the rate is a half a gallon per hour. Okay, so we have 3 containers in the front here that we're also going to want to irrigate. And this one is running right now. This is a test. So it's coming out at the rate of a half a gallon an hour. So our next step after we're done the test here is we are going to run all of our drips to the containers and also to the root system of each plant. And again, I'm not going to be burying my hoses until I'm positive that everything is sufficiently getting an appropriate amount of water and it's running a-okay. Okay, so we are closing in on the irrigation system, and it's a good thing because we're leaving tomorrow. We're going to be away for 2 weeks. And a lot of these plants are newbies. Maybe you've seen a couple of recent videos on the small yard garden install that we did. We did a nice little design, and we also did a couple of shrubs in pots. So it's really important to irrigate all of your newbies. And here in Florida, again, we want to have some regular irrigation. So what we're doing right now, and most of these are hooked up, but I really wanted to show you exactly what we're doing, is this tubing. This is the 1/4-inch tubing, and this was from Rainbird. And our emitter, so also from Rainbird. This one here is a half a gallon per hour. And then we are also using the 1 gallon per hour emitter. So two different emitters, and that really depends on your plant's watering needs. So right now we're going to use the 1/2 gallon per hour, which means that in 1 hour it should fill up a 1/2 gallon jug. So the tubing comes in a large roll, and all we've done is just using regular household scissors. We've cut it to length. So what you're measuring here is this is where the water runs in this hose here. So that feeds all of the little tubes. You want to make sure that it's long enough to get from this point to your plant, ideally somewhere around the drip line, so underneath the shrub or the plant, and no further away than the outermost branches. That's where the root system is going to get the water that it needs. So the other tool is this here. We showed you at the beginning of the video, and this came with our kit. And this here is going to make one hole in our hose that's carrying the water source. We're going to be putting our emitter into the hole, and then we're going to be attaching our little irrigation hose here. So, and we do have a way that we're going to pin this down. We're going to show you in a bit. All right, so here we go. The goal is to make your hole on the side of the hose. So you only need one. Okay, and that's it. I just pierced it. And then you want to put your emitter in the hole. And you heard it snap there, so we're good. And then we're going to push the 1/4-inch hose securely. So all the way until it stops here. And then we're going to feed it to my new gardenia. So anywhere around the drip line or the base. And we're just going to show you quickly the little Rainbird gadgets that we found to pin them down. And they have a bug guard on them. Okay, there's two ends, and which end you use here really depends on the size tubing you have. We have a 1/4-inch tubing, so we're just going to line it up here, and there we go. And our clip is going to hold it in place. Okay, so I just wanted to briefly recap things, and I'm really excited to have this set up, especially since we are going to be gone for a little bit. But I just want to recap what we've done. So remember, we bought the Hunter system that will feed 8 valves, and we're only using today 1 valve. So we have the whole system set up with 1 zone. And in the future, what we'll be doing is we will be adding zones for different areas. So this is just a quick setup just to get us going here. And I really think if you don't have that many gardens or that many containers, you could easily just use your 1 zone. And the things that are going to help you regulate that a little bit is if you're using your emitters, so you could either use the 1/2 gallon per hour or the 1 gallon per hour. And just to give you an example, we have most of our little plants have 1 emitter and 1 little drip with the 1/2 gallon per hour, versus we have a pygmy palm down at the end here, and we have 2 feeds to it, 2 emitters, and they are both going to be 1 gallon per hour. So it's going to get more water. So we're able to adjust it a little bit because everything's going to be watered in one zone, same amount of time. So it's an easy way to adjust it. Now the Hunter system that we use is a little pricier. We saved a little money by being able to mount it inside, but it's really going to help you conserve water. It does have some really great features, Wi-Fi, and then it also has that weather app that will adjust when it's watering depending on if we get rain or not. We also saved a little bit of money by using the Rainbird components, and I'll show you again just what those are. We'll give you a little clip. So that's it. Not too shabby. And I think my last tip is going to be just watch and wait. So we're going to start off, we're going to run it a little bit tonight and in the morning before we leave. We're going to start off with 5 minutes twice a day. And really that's because we're doing a lot of containers and all of these plants are new. So we're going to do it in the morning and then again in the evening. And we're going to see how things do. Fingers crossed. So I'll bring you some updates on our irrigation system, and I really hope this has helped all of you at home. I love doing these gardening videos for you and really appreciate all of you. So please let me know if you have any questions or comments. I love to hear them. And like the video if you enjoyed it, and please subscribe to our channel for lots more gardening videos. Okay, side note, we were even able to set one up in our bird bath because we're a little concerned that the birds love it so much and they won't be getting the water that they count on when we're not here. And something for my orchids. So we used one of our soakers here.